Wow.
We'll take it.
Hey, welcome into the CHGO Bears Postgame Show. The Bears are 2-1. They are, I think that qualifies them for first place in the NFC North. And
It does.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl,
Just
Bears.
put Roquan Smith at quarterback, and they're fine. He can play both ways.
It is officially over in Chicago for the Justin Fields is no doubt the guy. That it's done.
I agree with you there. Whatever honeymoon period Justin Fields had is over, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome in. CHGO Bears Postgame Show presented by PointsBet. Use that code CHGO to get 2 bets up to $2,000. Risk-free bets, I should say, up to $2,000. All right, Rags came storming in the studio. Right after the Roquan Smith interception. And he was like Kramer out of Seinfeld, the way he busted through the door. It was hilarious.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the win?
No, I'll take it. Roquan with a huge bounce-back game, after getting bulldozed all night long on Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. Nobody needed this game more than Roquan Smith. He's trying to get paid. He showed up today and showed why he deserves to get paid. Jalen Johnson out today. Obviously, the DBs got attacked in different ways. Roquan Smith showed up for this defense, and they needed it. Hey, it's not pretty. Justin Fields got a long way to go. We're going to talk a lot about that today. But at the end of the day, they come away with a win. They're 2-1. They have a winnable game next week. And when you're talking about a hits philosophy, the more they win, the more the team is going to continue to buy in. And it's a long road for this team to be a good team, not even just an average team, but at the same time, we'll take the 2-1. We might even get to 3-1 next week, but that's a long way to go.
What's the mouth agape?
I apologize. The Dolphins punter just punted the ball backwards.
These things happen.
No, he literally just punted the ball backwards. I apologize. There's nothing to do with the Bears. I'm completely distracted right now. It was not blocked. He kicked it backwards.
Hey.
I'm in the back of the end zone.
I hear you, and I'm not distracted, and I'm amazed when I get distracted when I look at the stat line that Fields has now 2 games this year that he's 8 for 17. Anybody take that? Did anyone have that?
He got over 100 yards though, Mark.
I gotta be honest. I don't even remember. I don't even remember the 106 yards.
Well, I do remember EQ being wide open and standing there and writing him a letter, and then he found him in the middle of the field. There was that one.
Cole Kmet sighting.
I don't know what you do there, Luke Getsy, but you got your hands full to get this right, and so does one, obviously.
Luke Getsy's got a lot to own up to, too, because at the end of the first half, I take exception to, not only do I take exception to running the ball on 3rd and 6, and running a draw when you need to be passing that ball. That's pathetic and Bush League stuff. But at the end of the half, with 3 timeouts and you're letting the clock run out.
That's on Eberflus, though.
Yeah, that's a head
Getsy,
coach.
That's
Getsy and Eberflus, I put them both at fault. I don't care. Blame them both. I don't care. It's pathetic, and that's not what you're going to do. When you're in a rebuild season, give Justin Fields the opportunity to make a play or make a mistake. I really don't care either way, but don't go into the half running the clock out. That's pathetic.
They are clearly balancing the whole this is a rebuild season versus trying to actually win, which they're doing. Hello. I mean, how many rushing yards do they have total today? What did they end up with? 200 and
1,000.
Yeah, 8,000 yards on the ground.
No, it was like 281 the last I checked.
Yeah.
Fine. If that's what it takes to win, I'm not going to complain. But at the end of the half, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that.
Agreed.
All right, Bears win. That means we're handing out game balls.
Game balls. Let's go.
Who wants the obvious one? Right there.
I'll take it. Yeah. The obvious one. Roquan Smith, you had yourself a day today. Everyone said, hey, you ain't getting paid playing like you did last week. This week you come up with the game-winning interception with the game on the line. Got to give you a lot of credit. Jalen Johnson out, one of your best players on defense. You stepped up when this defense needed you the most. 2-1, baby, heading to New York. Let's go. Roquan Smith, game ball.
16 tackles, 2 tackles for loss.
He was all over the place.
Huge interception at the end. And he also had a PBU on top of that.
I'll take the next easy one. Khalil Herbert, you were awesome. 24 was all over the field and got in the end zone twice, 20 carries. 157 big damn-ass yards, showing the shiftiness. Demo going down is a huge blow. Obviously everyone's rooting that he'll get well. Ankle, knee seemed very significant. That was just brutal. And David Montgomery in a contract year as well. But Khalil Herbert, when he's gotten the opportunity, consistently has taken advantage of it. Did it again today. 7.9 yards a carry. Adam Hoge, your turn, buddy.
All right. I'll stay on brand. Got to give one to the kicker.
You do.
Cairo Santos game-winning field goal, but also had, what was the long one? It was... he
had a 50-yarder.
Yeah, it was 50 yards, right?
Yep.
50-yard field goal early in the game, made all the extra points. 47-50, game winner. Booming touchbacks. Game ball goes to Cairo Santos. Carlos, some call him.
Way to go, Mr. Santos. And I was nervous at the end. Thank you for kicking it through and allowing the Bears to get a victory and us to sit here right now. Also, I thought that Eddie Jackson deserves a game.
Yes, I was thinking between him and Cairo Santos.
All over the field.
8 tackles, 1 interception, another PBU, and a forced fumble.
And just really just constantly noticing Eddie trying to get strips, doing everything he can. This is a new Eddie Jackson this year. He played big again today. Of course, Jalen's out, so more pressure on the entire secondary. Eddie picked up at least some of that slack. Game ball, Eddie Jackson. Bryce, you got one more or no?
I got a shout out to Justin Jones.
Okay.
Mainly for one play, but
that was huge.
After the second Justin Fields interception, Justin Jones came up huge with a big boy play to get through with multiple blockers and come up with the sack. I think he ended up splitting it with Dominique Robinson, but the timing of that play was what was so big. The Bears needed that badly. I thought they were going to go up the lead after that second interception.
It felt at halftime. It felt like they were losing the game. Like
well, that's because they were
right. Well, but right. But like we were sitting there. I was talking with Kevin at halftime. Like, if you had to bet right now, life depended on it, win or lose. And Kadick, to his credit, was like, "Yeah, I'm not sure." I'm like, "I would take the Texans. They can't stop them, and the offense looks absolutely atrocious."
The problem with this game, though, is the Bears probably lose it to almost every other team in the league. Right?
Yeah, well, right.
100%.
This is probably a loss against almost every other team in the league today. And
the Davis Mills Roquan miracle gift. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get real here for a second.
Here it comes. Everybody buckle up. Let's all I think we all need to get in this together.
Just for the sake of
huddle up.
Let's take the excuses out of it. Let's take the play calling, whatever. Just purely what you've seen from Justin Fields through 3 games. If the season was over right now, would you be using a first-round pick on a quarterback?
Oh, what a terrible, to the point, zooming ahead question. I defer to Braggs.
Because I would.
Yeah, right.
And I would say that, like, I'm still not giving up on him. I'm like, Braggs, right before we went on, you're like, I'm going to give him 3 years.
I will.
I'm willing to still give him more
3
time,
years.
but I think I would still draft one of these quarterbacks that are coming out this year.
I will give him 3 years, and I will stand by that no matter how atrocious. It has to be abysmal for me to come off that stance. But there's nothing wrong with drafting insurance.
That's what I mean.
You see the Eagles do it all the time. The Eagles are the template. They roll over quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. They've done it for 10 years, even prior when it was Andy Reid. They don't care who your quarterback is. They have another quarterback in waiting. And I understand we all want to be in on Justin Fields. I'm still in on Justin Fields. I'm not out on him. He deserves weapons. He 100% deserves weapons. But you cannot gloss over the way he's handling passing to open receivers. Cole Kmet interception, that was on Justin Fields. He overthrew that football. You can say what you want. So to me, I'm more than happy to draft a quarterback if that's what it means at the end of the season. If Justin Fields continues to look like he has to start the season. It's only 3 games. I'm not trying to overreact, but we're just stating facts. 3 games in. You draft a quarterback, fine. You give Justin Fields an opportunity to prove himself in year 3. And if it works out, great. You have some trade bait. But, as it stands right now, to your question, hold my feet to the fire. Yeah, if he's playing like this, I'm drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, real quick, I got a bunch of super chats about Fields. If you want to knock those out now, or if we could keep talking out, I'll.
We can take a look at what people are saying about Justin Fields in the super chat because it's right on brand. Thank you for all the super chats. Go ahead.
This win feels like a loss. Crazily, I miss Mitch. Ugh, don't say that.
Well, that was the thing. Honestly, I hate saying it, Lawrence, but I got to be honest to the people in the chat. I'm sitting in the stands with my good friends after leaving the tailgate, our first CHGO Bears tailgate, which went off without a hitch. It was amazing. I hope you guys can come for the next one. But sitting in the stands, I continued to joke. It was a joke, but I kept saying, Justin Trubisky, you're seeing a lot of the same things with Justin that you saw with Mitch. And I know a lot of fans, we won't be fooled again. And there's a lot of other fans that say, hey, you gave Mitch 4 years. You gave Jay Cutler 3 contracts. You cannot be out on Justin Fields after 13 games. I understand the sentiment, but your eyes aren't deceiving you at this point. It looks very eerily similar. He's not seeing the field. He's not feeling the pocket. I hate saying it, but at this point, that's what it is.
Honestly, on 2 of the completions he had, the footwork, he's doing the splits and throwing sidearm when he doesn't need to.
And that would be fine if he did that occasionally and you saw, please, just one time, drop back into the pocket, stand there, show perfect old school, new school, whatever you want to call it, quarterback form, and the pass to Komet's wide open, and I'm not sure what wide receiver was run on the top of the screen. Wide open. It's a touchdown.
Because the guy that I think was on him initially was the one who ended up making the interception back towards the middle, so he left the receiver open. Then the second one, that ball can't be thrown.
Oh, 7,000 defenders.
That's a go route. You throw that if you know it's man-on-man, Mooney has a step. Then you throw it up and give him a chance. They had 2 defenders over the top. That ball can't be thrown, plus it wasn't accurate.
Well, and we were talking about it during the game. His body language when he goes to the bench is concerning. No one's really coming over to him. He is defeated in the moment. You can just see that his confidence is not great.
Yes. I worry about that confidence word. It's just, he doesn't seem like, and honestly, why would he right now?
Sure.
What is going well?
Yeah.
To feel confident. I don't know.
Well, but what I'm confused about is, look, you had moments last year. I keep going back to the Steelers game like everybody does, but you had moments last year where you looked like an NFL quarterback. You had it rolling. You were running all around the field. All sorts of confidence was flowing. This is supposed to be a huge step up with Getsy coming in here, and maybe it's just the learning curve here.
Honestly, I think the O-line's been better than any of us thought it would be.
They also were trying to. This was supposed to be a simplification, make it easier for him. Right now, it looks like they're giving him the playbook to send a rocket to the moon, and we're at NASA. I don't understand what's happened here that he is that damn uncomfortable out there.
The running game's working. That should help him. The offensive line has been better. I know he doesn't have a ton of outstanding weapons, but he's throwing balls that shouldn't even be thrown. Okay, these are things that should be helping him, and it's what's concerning is it's getting worse. It's not like he's a passable starter right now.
He's right.
He's actually you were having serious discussions during the. Did you end up tweeting it? By the way,
I did. I was having discussions with myself of whether or not the Bears would have a better chance to win if they put Trevor Siemian in the game.
Just to win this game, not bench Fields forever, but just to finish off this win today. And at first, I was like, "You better be careful with that. You're going to get murdered on Twitter if you tweet that."
He doesn't care.
But then he threw the next pick, and I was like, "Carm, tweet it."
I care a little bit. I'm trying not to care at all. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to get killed because Bears fans were already killing him. Everyone's seeing the same thing. So he's.
You can see the pressure is just starting to overcome him in a lot of ways. Hopefully he can dig himself out. But this week was just such a microcosm of what's going on. He answers a question not in the best way to end the Packer game. He's got to readdress it on Wednesday. backtrack about how he felt about him versus the fans, about who cares more, referencing Barstool. I'm sorry, it really bugged me. It was like, to me, it shows you're not only acknowledging that you said something wrong, but you're hearing the noise on the outside. And we all made fun of Mitch and stuff. Oh, turn off the TVs and all that crap. I get it. He addressed it head on, but at the same time, you're addressing Barstool, front forward, saying their brand on your postgame show or on your presser on a Wednesday. That tells me that you're hearing the noise in a way that you don't need to be listening to it. At the end of the week 1 game against the Niners, he has his friend in the tunnel filming him on Instagram, and he's like, keep that same energy, and Justin's kind of putting his hand up. So he's hearing all this stuff about the doubters, and at the same time, it's like, he's got a lot of work to do. So don't worry about what everybody's saying on the periphery and just go out there and do your job. Everything seems to be overcoming him at this point. He's still got a long way to go. It's only 13 games into his career. He's got a long way to go, but just focus on the little things and grow from there. Don't worry about what Barstool's saying.
All right, good time now for Fields Guide here. It is presented to you by Green Ridge Farm. Oh.
Sorry, one farm. There's only one.
Rhymes with Carm. So he was 8 for 17, 106 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Basically the opposite of what I told you pregame it had to look like.
Right, pregame, your
Under.
comment was the Bears have to win and Fields has to play well.
That's what I said. Those were the musts.
That was
They found a way to do the first one. The second one it didn't happen. He did run the ball a little bit today. Couple fumbles. The snaps. What's going on with the snaps?
Yeah,
You got to get over that.
That one's interesting too. Sam Mustipher.
3 snaps now.
You stepped in. You were in the void for good old Lucas Patrick, but the cast wasn't on. I don't know how long until you can get in that spot. And I think Mustipher has actually proven himself to be a viable NFL offensive lineman swing dude that can play center, that can play guard, that you want on your roster. And we're ready for an upgrade here. So at the same time, but some of it to me looked like it was on Fields too. I wouldn't put it fully on the center.
It's usually, even in a snap infraction, when it looks like it's blatantly on the center, you don't know if it's a cadence problem or something the quarterback said something wrong. Well, let's fly through these super chats since they have to do with Justin Fields here in our Fields Guide. We got one here from
Aerobase.
What?
Aerobase is my guess.
Aerobase. Too much Ace of Base talk today. Justin Fields has to be better. No more excuses. Wide receiver, O-line, coaching, no more excuses. Fields has to be better. How am I sad after a Bears win?
You're feeling the right feelings. Of course, all feelings are encouraged in life. Feelings are good. They're a great guider for you. But why are you sad? Why are a lot of because we're feeling like we're entering back into the same quarterback no man's land where we have lived our entire life as Bears fans. That's why you're sad.
It never ends. It never ends. All right. Joshua says, trying not to panic here. I understand the team is 8 months into a fresh start, but with a pretty much ground up rebuild. But Fields needs to play better. That's it. Like, he just has to play better.
Well, and yes. And by the way, I don't know what's happened with maybe guys are trying to do too much, but little flick 3 mile an hour pass and Darnell Mooney's dropping it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. 11. You are 7,000 times better than that. So everybody's kind of got to relax here a little bit, because that was there's some blatant pressing going on there, and I get it. He was expecting to get the ball a whole lot more, and it hasn't happened. So,
the Duke coming through with a $9.99 super chat. Justin Fields looks like he has the yips. He's John Lester trying to throw the bases.
Ouch.
Well, the problem with that though is, at least Lester could still pitch when that was going on.
Oof. Double ouch.
John Lester, you're going to make me get into a Game 7, stepping up in the 5th inning. Should have left him in there, Joe Madden. Should have finished that one out. But
also shouldn't have brought him in the middle of inning.
That's
like
true
he talked
too.
about
But
prior to the game.
Look,
but whatever.
The yips is an interesting way. His yips are he just holds on to the ball forever. Get rid of it. Fire it. You're looking. You think you're seeing. You're not seeing. You're weirdly taking chances, like the second pick. Like, okay, I'm going to fire this one. That's not the time to do it. So it's just off.
It's a chicken or the egg discussion. We've had it with Jay. We had it with Mitch, and now we're having it with Justin. With Jay, it was, he's got a different offensive coordinator every other year. With Mitch, it was, he doesn't have, the wide receivers lead the league in drops. The offensive line doesn't know how to block. The coach doesn't know how to play off the run. Now with Justin, we don't have the wide receiver talent, the tight end talent, and it's just going to continue to roll itself over. It never ends when it comes to this discussion. We always roll over our problems into the next one. Head coach into quarterback into head coach. Whether it was Trestman inheriting Jay, and then Trestman goes out, John Fox inherits Jay, then John Fox goes out, or Jay goes out, John Fox inherits Mitch, then Mitch inherits Nagy, Mitch goes out, Nagy inherits Fields. It's always a rollover into the next problem, and now we're doing the same thing with this coaching staff that has to inherit Justin Fields.
That's super interesting from Ryan Pohl's standpoint. Hey, we inherited this guy. We're doing everything that we can to make him good, but how aggressive will he be? Well,
look, I think they like him, okay, but there's no personal connection to, hey, I drafted this guy.
Right.
Like, we got to make him good. Like, that's where, look, it's week 3.
Way too early.
It's been bad. What concerns me is it's gotten worse. This isn't like a continuation of sort of the inconsistencies. There really hasn't been much good in these 3 games.
Seriously,
you know what I mean?
Name one play that stands out, because I can't name one off the top of my head. Is there
like
the
couple touchdowns against the 49ers?
The St. Brown one,
yeah,
in particular.
Okay, that's fine. But you know what I would say about that play? That was a great play by Luke Getsy. Dude's running free. I mean, that wasn't a tough throw. It was a good throw.
But then my fear is if we draft the quarterback, whoever it is in the first round, now we're rolling the head coach into the quarterback. So if the quarterback doesn't succeed, now it's the head coach's fault, because we just flip-flop whoever's fault it is by whoever's newest. And we don't have the patience to let it build the correct way. And that is what part of the problem of why the Bears can never get over this hill.
All right. What's the next super chat here? Knight says, this is what you get when you draft a Big Ten quarterback. Last good one was Drew Brees. Do not ever draft a Big Ten quarterback. Well, I got bad news for you, because the Bears' backup quarterback's a Big Ten quarterback too.
And Russell Wilson played for Wisconsin for a hot minute.
Russell Wilson counts as a Big Ten quarterback.
Barely.
Sort of,
1 year, right?
Yeah, 1 year.
Good
year, though.
Well, that's how you got to do it. You gotta, okay, then Justin only had 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
SEC,
Play that.
All right,
he
Big
was
Ten.
SEC
You could claim.
and Big Ten.
You could claim him.
I'm claiming him. All right, another $9.99 super chat here. Region Rev. He mentioned Barstool. Ouch.
Region.
You say you're giving up on him, but advocating new QB, comparing him to the management failure. Got it. Were you this critical at the beginning of the season with others? Damn. I gotta be honest. I don't understand.
Look, I got it.
What's the problem?
I believe that was responding to Greg, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure exactly who it's directed towards, but you want to remain positive on the QB. We appreciate you wanting to stay there. You're upset that people are turning. We're all.
I'm critical with whoever players are struggling.
Yeah.
And right now, the quarterback's been one of the worst players on the team.
And I'm not giving up on Justin Fields whatsoever.
I'm not either.
I'm just calling a spade a spade. So if you can't handle that, I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to call it like I see it at this point. I want Justin Fields to work out more than anybody, as much as any Bears fan, not more than anybody, as much as any Bears fan. We all want him to work out. But at some point, we have to call a spade a spade. No, I don't like that he's specifically calling out Barstool in a presser. It shows that he's listening to specific noise. What's next? We're going to address the Jersey Jerry crap where he said he didn't take a picture with him friendly enough. It's silly. It's an uphill battle that you'll never win if you're going to continue to address outlets like that are looking for clickbait, content. Justin needs to. I'm not saying you can hear the noise, But at the same time, there's so much noise on social media. If you're going to address every single one, you're going to be spending all day thinking about it. He needs to be thinking about being a better quarterback.
He felt bad, and he felt like he had put Bears fans down, and that's not what he wanted to do. So he wanted to make it right that he appreciates the Chicago Bears fans. I hear you, Braggs.
Right.
Like don't listen to the noise. Be in your own world. Don't watch television, Mitchell Trubisky.
I like that he set the record straight. I just didn't like that he was calling out a specific outlet because it just shows how much he's listening to
I get
the
it.
details.
I didn't even know where it started, to be honest with you, until he said that.
Ditto.
I was like, oh, okay.
I actually was in my own world of whether or not.
I mean, you got guys pulling his where he's out to dinner on a Friday night.
Yep.
Crap, garbage content. I'll say it. I don't care who puts it out there.
Yeah, who did that one?
Well, Clay
cares?
Harbor, he's done a lot of stuff out here. He's done well with his camp coverage in different places. But if you're going to call out a player for being out on a Friday night, I think it's garbage, especially as a former player. You don't know the context. You don't know if he was out till 4 a.m. You don't know if he's getting wasted. But you're going to say he was out at Tao Restaurant, Tao Club, whatever you want to say. It's a restaurant and a club. I thought that was Bush League to call that out. So I'll say it right now. I got no ill will towards Clay, but at the same time, I thought it was Bush League. And then he's deleting the tweets as soon as he's putting them out. And then we want to talk about how he's addressing the fans. I like that he retracted. I like that he stood in front of it and said, hey, I didn't mean that. I got nothing but respect for the fans. I've seen him deal with the fans at camp and in the tunnel at Bears games. He's got nothing but love for the fans. So I like that he took that back and said, hey, look, I love the fans. It's just the specific of who's calling him out, i.e. Barstool or other outlets like that. That's where I'm like, man, don't worry about what those kind of people are saying about you. Bears fans got your back. Bears fans want the best for you, but you got to play better. He knows that, and we know that. It's the end of the story there.
All right, here's a last super chat for at least right now. We'll get to plenty more as the show goes on. $5 super chat here. Do you see the Bears attacking weak points on the opposing team's defense? Feel like that only happens to the Bears. Gordon struggled again at times. I thought that they were attacking Kindle Vildor early in this game.
They were.
And then Vildor made the play. That's how you got to get out of it, man. You got to make a play, and he does. Leads to an interception. To answer the first part of your question, yes. The Texans can't stop the run. That's all the Bears did today. I'm going to be honest right now, guys. I don't have a problem with Luke Getsy today at all. His quarterback was bad, and they're averaging like 8 yards per rush. Why would you not still run the football? 281 rushing yards in an NFL game today. He called the game he had to call. He gave them opportunities to throw, and Justin let him down by throwing interceptions. I don't have a problem. I had a problem with one call. That was when they ran the ball on 3rd and 6. I thought that was...
that pissed me off so much.
That said a lot. I would have thrown the ball there. Other than that, the rest of the game, I don't have a problem with what Getsy's doing. His quarterback needs to earn that trust, and right now he's not doing it. And as long as you're running the ball, keep running the ball.
3rd and 18, I get it. But 3rd and 6, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the 3rd and 6 one was bad. Even the 3rd and 10 one at the beginning, didn't necessarily love it, but I did understand it because you were on the edge of field goal range. A sack does push you out. So, okay, fine, you take your field goal, move on. Didn't love it, but could understand the logic. 3rd and 18, fine. Nothing good's going to happen there. I think I said even pre-snap, I'm like, here comes a run. The 3rd and 6, though, that was one I had a problem with. You got to throw the ball there. Other than that, though, I thought the coaching at the end of the half with not calling timeout and not taking a shot there, that's not on Getsy, though. That's on the head coach. That was coaching scared. You cannot coach scared like that.
And, look, it was clear, and everyone sees it, that Luke Getsy and whoever else, by the way, in that who's all discussing what plays the Bears are going to run, they told you, we don't trust the quarterback. They did it many times today. Look at the way at the end of the game, they ended up playing for overtime in essence,
yep.
and the Roquan miracle came. So Dude's trying to win football games. That's what that's it. And
I don't blame him in that regard. At the end of the game, the halftime, there's no excuse.
The
for
halftime
it.
was the halftime.
That's
was,
not playing to win a game.
Well, the halftime was just a violation of football.
Like Lovey tried to help him by calling timeout,
Right.
And
Listen,
they didn't take advantage of it.
Look, I on 3rd and 1, I said to you, I would not call that timeout if I was Lovey because the most likely the Bears are going to pick it up, and then all of a sudden you're giving them a chance to score. They did pick it up. Herbert had a good 10, 15-yard run, whatever it was, and then that's fine. Don't you want to not believe in the offense and go down at halftime down by 1? You don't believe it, then get off the field. But what they did was have Fields run the football and get cracked. So we don't need the quarterback taking a hit at the end of the first half when you're not trying to do anything. That's malpractice right there.
I want to point out Vic M here. Thank you, actually, here, because I actually agree with this comment because he's calling me out. He said, wrong. After the Kmet huge catch, they ran twice, and that set up an obvious pass 3rd down for sack on Fields. I actually agree with you on that. That was the other time, the one other time in the game that I did have a problem. I think Jake Flanagan sitting here, too, said, throw it again, throw it again. That would have been an opportunity to kind of let Fields get in a rhythm. And I did actually want right there on 1st down for them to do another pass. Instead, they ran the ball. Again, hard to blame them, though, when the running game's working so well. I do think that would have been an opportunity, so I agree with you that they could have gotten Fields in a little bit more of a rhythm and maybe build some confidence that he's lacking. Nonetheless, I can't put this too much on the OC. It's the QB just has to do his job.
100%.
You know, I'm sorry.
Can you
awesome.
Lawrence? Can you pull up Big D's comment because I think he's spot on what I just put out there.
What did you just ask him to do?
Big D, you mean Deshaun Braggs?
I did say put a Big D's comment.
Okay.
We're in a little bit of an uncomfortable zone. Whatever. He says I'm wearing a Fields jersey and have a Trubisky as well as a Cutler jersey in the closet.
Where's your Rex?
I missed Trubisky today. Fields seems to be behind where Mitch was at this point, all things being equal, though. I think that's true.
See, really, if they had just listened to Carman like 10 years ago, more like 8 years ago,
We would have signed
9 years
let's
ago.
put it in-
Josh McCown would have been the starter for like 7 years. The Bears would have at least 3 championships.
But let's put it into context, Big D, because that's where the discussion is going to go. Mitch Trubisky in his second year had a really great defense with the Chicago Bears and Khalil Mack, and they were balling. And they also had weapons on offense. Trey Burton ended up not working out to what he was, but he was a solid tight end to start. Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Tariq Cohen, Jordan Howard. They had offensive weapons. They had some offensive line continuity. And they come in, yes, Mitch threw 6 touchdowns to start, but he also had his struggles. They had winnable games early on in their schedule that led to them winning, getting to the playoffs. We wouldn't be saying anything if Justin Fields and this team gets to the playoffs. We won't say anything. That's where the misconception is. Like, oh, you gave Mitch 4 years, and now you're not giving Justin 2 years. Well, in Mitch's second year, they made the playoffs. If Justin does that, we're not going to say anything regardless of the ups and downs. We're just going to be excited that they're on a playoff run. That's probably not going to happen here. So it's just a totally different context. We don't have the wide receiver talent that Mitch had that second year. The tight end talent doesn't seem to be there. The offensive line is still trying to find themselves, fumbling 2 snaps. So it's just a totally different scenario than where Mitch was in his second year.
But let's go back to his first year, okay? 12-4, make the playoffs, double doink, all of it, okay? And they
That was
were
Mitch's second year.
Mitch's second year. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause he
Okay.
had
Yeah,
John
my bad.
Fox
My
there
bad. My
before.
bad.
Yeah.
Correct. First year was Glennon and the nightmare and the firing. Okay. Second year.
Correct.
12-4. First year for Nagy and company. They finally in the fourth quarter of the playoff game, they turn him loose at least a little bit, and he takes him down and he gets him in field goal range. Right. Made a couple good throws. Can you see right now that Justin Fields could do that?
But if you go
He
back to
did it in Pittsburgh last year.
Right.
I don't know.
And if you go back to that
I tend to
game-
agree with the comment. I think Mitch is ahead of him in year 2. That's a terrible comment. It's a terrible thing to believe, but I think he is.
Put Justin Fields on that 2018 team. They win just as many games. It's the same difference.
Maybe.
It's literally the same. I said it, Justin Trubisky. I hate saying it, because I want Justin to obviously work out and be a better quarterback than Mitch ever was with the Bears. But at this point, it is the same. At this point, it's the same difference. I'm not saying they're going to end up the same. He has a higher pedgree.
And let me flip this for a second. Someone's saying Mitch was trash in 2018. I don't agree with that.
He wasn't trash.
I think he was misleading, though, because he was a game manager that could do enough with a couple weapons and the defense and Khalil Mack basically leading you to 12 wins.
It was a perfect recipe.
This is almost a more revealing, and it kind of tricked the Bears into thinking he was the guy, right? This is almost a better evaluation period because this defense is okay, but it's not great. It's not 2018, and you're asking Fields now to go out there and actually do more with less of a supporting cast than Mitch had that year, and it's not going well.
It's not. And
if he was elevating his game with this situation, then you'd feel really good about it, I guess was my point.
I got it.
This is kind of a more revealing situation where I don't think they're going to be tricked into false hope if it's
he's carrying a lot more weight. There's more on him to make this look good.
And they put that on him. They chose not to get him the wide receiver talent through the draft or through free agency.
Right. And to understanding polls, right? You didn't have it was not time to mortgage your future or go all in on your draft picks to try to get a wide receiver. That would have been over the top aggressive. It would have been crazy.
Honestly, it's going to drive me crazy with this Mitch versus. I know we can't avoid it. If Mitch was on this team right now, we saw what Mitch did on Thursday Night Football. Mitch would be struggling with this team right now.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
People in the chat saying, "Oh, Mitch is much better than Justin right now." It's a joke. We're seeing what he's doing with the Steelers right now. He's getting ready to lose his job. All respect to Mitch, but it's silliness.
Is there somebody in the chat wanting Mitch back?
No, I'm just saying there's people saying, "Oh,
regardless." Here's the problem, Braggs.
Better.
We're having this discussion.
You have to have it.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
You have
that we're
to have
here.
it. I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, let me tell you about PointsBet real quick. This football season, PointsBet is bringing you a better way to bet live on games, which means before this ad is over, you can place a live same-game parlay. Mine almost hit. Come on, Roquan Smith, stay on your feet. Get in the end zone for the pick 6. Bet on the next drive to be a touchdown and cash out on your live second-half overbet. With PointsBet, you have access to more live football markets than ever before. Build the perfect live same-game parlay by combining your favorite bets anytime during the game, including spreads, totals, player props, and more. Choose the outcome of the next drive and next points with PointsBet Lightning Bets. Whether you're on the move or on the couch, do it live on PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app right now. Sign up with code CHGO to get your first 2 bets risk-free up to $2,000. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
And
game time, baby.
Yeah, it still is game time, even though it's not game time because it's always damn game time. Look, the best way to get tickets to any game is through Game Time Tickets, the hottest new ticketing site. Today, you could have gotten in to Soldier Field for $98 right around game time, about 50 minutes before game time went. Well, they make that 40 minutes before game time when I was looking at this in the pregame. If you love CHGO, you're going to love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Hey, diehard baseball fans, there will be phenomenal deals at guaranteed rate and Wrigley Field as we wrap it up. And hey, we got Blackhawks love coming and Bulls love coming, so great way to get into the United Center for hoops and hockey and concerts and all of it.
I need to get to
no love for the Red Stars? Come on.
You do what?
No love for the Red Stars and the Fire?
Red Stars Fire, absolutely, baby. Let's go. Thank you for the
Lawrence putting you on the spot.
Lawrence, nothing gets by Lawrence. You save a ton of money.
We got a team going to the playoffs. I'll say that.
Lawrence has to give out his
it's not the Fire,
best Buckeye of the Game award before we get out of here.
You might be able to save a lot of money going to Wildcat games too. Get that Game Time app, download it, and again, best way to support us, buying your tickets through the link in the description. Game Time app is awesome.
All right.
Real quick, Bradley threw us a super chat. He missed the start of the show, apparently. Braggs, game balls. What'd you say?
I originally gave my game ball to Roquan Smith, obviously, for winning the game with his interception to set us up for a field goal. But I'll also give a shout out to Kendall Vildor. You know, he's always getting a lot of hard times from Bears fans after last year.
He was getting targeted.
He makes plays
early
on the ball. You know, to me, he reminds me a lot of Tim Jennings. He is not Tim Jennings before everyone freaks out on me for saying that. But he to me has that inside of him. Jalen Johnson didn't play today. Kyler Gordon is a rookie. He's continuing to be attacked by the offenses. Kendall Vildor can play. People want to doubt him. He can play. Is he a Pro Bowler? No, but he can play. Was Tim Jennings the best cornerback when he was here? No, but he battled. And that's where I see the similarities in between the two. So give Kendall Vildor some slack. He played a really good game today. That's another game ball.
He had a couple TFLs and
pass breakups.
No, he had one TFL, 2 PBUs.
He caused the interception that
and he was getting that's what I'm talking about. He was getting targeted. They were picking on him, and then he came up and he made the play, and then they kind of eased it from there. Let's play a fun game here. Can you name the Bears' leading receiver today in yards?
I'm not going to look. I'm looking for it. I'm not cheating.
Tristan Ebner. No,
that can't be
it's not Ebner.
It's not Mooney. It's got to be Equanimity St. Brown, right?
Yeah, I was going to say St. Brown had that long
It's
reception.
Cole Kmet.
24 yards?
Let's go, Cole.
Cole Kmet had 2 catches for 40 yards.
Bullying works.
Darnell Mooney.
Oh, yeah, the second one. That's
Darnell
right.
Mooney had 2 catches for 23 yards.
Wait, did you say you yelled at him pregame?
Last week,
Oh, okay.
I went off on Cole. Bullying works. 2 catches, 40
I don't know
yards.
if we should put that out there.
It wasn't that good.
I have a kindergartner.
It wasn't.
But
It really wasn't that good.
I'm interjecting real quick.
Should have had 3 catches.
Hit the like
Fields.
button, everyone. We're I only
hit
have
the
100
like
likes,
button.
and there's over, I don't know, we got like 800, 900 people in this room. Come on.
It's really easy to do.
Speaking
There's
of Tristan
thumbs
Ebner,
up button, and you press it like this.
Smash the like
We
button.
appreciate it.
Speaking of Tristan Ebner, can we stop taking kickoffs out of the end zone?
Just get him out of there. Anybody else?
His average last week was actually really good.
He has the acceleration.
He just doesn't look fast.
Of an offensive lineman. There's got to be somebody better. No, actually, I guess full disrespect.
Full disrespect.
There's other things you can do. Trust ever returning kicks. Just Bayless just needs to get healthy. Let's get Bayless healthy. Somebody who looks fast when they run out of the end zone. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
No, I also want to point out that Jack Sanborn would have picked up that damn fumble.
Oh.
Did Sanborn do anything today? I didn't even notice.
Joe Thomas was standing right. I think one of his teammates knocked the ball out of his hand or something.
It looked like rugby, like a scrum where they push the ball
where
between
he
the legs.
Purposely hikes it back to his
exactly.
teammate.
It was, except he hiked it to a Texans player.
I mean, that would have been a massive play. Now, they ended up getting the interception later, but that's what they needed to win this game. I'm not sure they win this game unless the defense comes away with a takeaway there.
They do not.
I mean, Sanborn, if according to the ESPN box score, he had less tackles than Cole Kmet and Khalil Herbert and Kari Blasted game. So I do love your love for Sanborn, but he didn't make the box score.
He didn't play, though.
People were saying that Sanborn started.
Joe Thomas was in there.
Okay, but why were we hearing before the game that Jack Sanborn was starting?
I don't know. CBS was under the impression that he was.
Yeah. Okay.
They put the damn graphic up there. They're like, Jack Sanborn, starter, and Joe Thomas is literally on the field.
Okay. All right. Well, Joe Thomas had an up and down day, but he
was actually pretty solid. But I just wanted him to pick up that fumble.
Have we
Yeah,
talked
Chuck
enough
thinks he should
about
play center.
Roquan? I mean, I know he had. Seriously though.
big bounce back.
I mean, it was.
Can I read you this quote from Justin Fields?
Yes.
Coming courtesy of
Yes,
Jason
you may.
Leisure from the Chicago Sun-Times. Bears quarterback Justin Fields, quote, I played like, I want to say the A word, but I played terrible today.
Right, he knows. There's no
Is the
secret
A word
here.
amateur?
I think he should have just said ass.
I know.
I played like ass.
I would have gone with shit over ass myself, but sure, play like ass would have been plenty descriptive of how he played.
Right.
That would have
'cause,
worked.
Like, Yeah, if you play like shit, there's no misconception. You play ass. Sometimes ass can be nice. So
Well, Carm's been saying it all day.
What have I been
You
saying?
were like, that was like, what did you say earlier? You used the ass in a good way.
I did?
You did. We'll have to rewind the tape. It was right at the beginning of the podcast.
Okay. I mean, look, he knows it. The Bears know it. His teammates know it. His family knows it. There's no secret here. And today was supposed to be a lot better.
Why can't Chicago just have a quarterback?
It was.
We were talking about this at the tailgate earlier. Like, you think if Patrick Mahomes came here, he would be Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
No.
I'll tell you why.
I really don't know.
would not.
You put him in Chicago with John Fox and Dow Loggins?
No, don't do this. Don't do this. The Chiefs sucked at quarterback forever until they got Patrick Damn-ass Mahomes.
You just did it again.
I did. Matt Castle sucked as a Chief. That you could go through all of them. Who do they?
Alex Smith.
He was.
But
he
Andy
was
Reid
fine.
made Nick Foles.
Todd Blackledge, who they drafted in the '83 draft over Dan Marino, sucked as a Chief. They got it right. If we got it right, he'd look like it.
I disagree. Alex Smith was playing well for the Chiefs before Mahomes came in as the starter because they have a system implemented. They have talent around the quarterback, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, etc.
Where you're flawed because Alex Smith was basically a bust, and then Kansas City
and
made
then
him
came
something.
to Kansas City and started playing better.
Hold on.
Patrick Mahomes would have came here and been a complete bust.
He's too talented that he would have been a complete
No,
bust. He might go down.
I don't think so.
But to your point, Braggs. To your point, yes. If you have a great organization who loads up tons of weapons all over the field,
Right.
you can lift up a quarterback. The Bears don't have that. However, like you can't.
Well, we got to have more weapons than what we have right now. I mean,
agree.
I understand we don't want to give Justin Fields the weapons excuse. We want him to play well regardless of it. I get it because we're not getting those weapons this year. But it is a valid excuse. They don't have the weapons. Cole Kmet isn't good enough. St. Brown is fine. He's not good enough. Darnell Mooney is a third wide receiver on most teams. Second, maybe on other teams. We don't have the weapons. So Justin Fields has got to do a lot with a little. And right now he's not doing enough. But at the end of the day, there's a bigger picture at stake, and it's the chicken or the egg argument. And that's why, regardless of what happens this season, I am going to allow Justin Fields to get into his third year and give him a chance to show what he's capable of once we add weapons to this team and once the system is implemented more in set with what this team is. It sucks because we all want, everybody wants that immediate reaction. Everybody wants that, right away. We all want it. We're not getting it. We're going to get what we get this year, and you got to take it and eat it. I know it sucks. You look miserable.
No. I'm good. I'm thrilled.
Well, look, the way I just put it is, 2 weeks ago I wasn't that worried about him. I'm worried.
It's fair to be worried.
I'm worried.
It's fair to be worried. It's unfair to be out on him.
Oh yeah, I don't know that anybody
It's fair to
is.
be worried. It's unfair to be out on him.
Well, I got some Packer friends.
There's some people in the chat who are saying they're
Of course,
out on it.
Packer fans are out on him. They're
I'm
the
not
same
out.
fans that
I want to
think
be perfectly
Jordan
clear.
Love will be good.
Not out. Extremely worried. Last week I was worried. Now I'm extremely worried.
I'm not out either. I'm not out. You are fast enough. You are strong enough. You are smart enough. You have enough want.
And doggone it, people like you.
Doggone it, I still like you. But it is extreme. Whatever you just said, it's extremely concerning. I'm not out, but I am worried.
If you run for 281 yards in an NFL game, it shouldn't be close. You got to have some passing game. And we were talking about this in the middle of the game. If you noticed, Bears fans can notice this. Every time he tried to boot today, what happened? The Texans had a guy there. It's called blitzing the boot, okay? With all these Kyle Shanahan offenses all over the place now, everybody's trying to boot, and defense are saying, nope, we're going to put a guy there. You can't boot. And what they're doing is then that opens up more running room on the other side. When they put a defender over here, you run the other way. The Bears did that today. And it still came down to them needing a takeaway.
A miracle takeaway.
And a last-second field goal. So what do you think is going to happen when they play better teams?
Yep.
Like, you can't just – teams are saying
run,
run. At some point, you have to have a passing game.
Well, so how's this? Because I've seen one chat in there about until Fields averages over 20 pass attempts at over 200 yards passing, he's like a quarterback with training wheels on. Doesn't look like they're showing too much confidence in Fields. And David Snyder, we cover that. Like, it's clear they don't, and rightfully so, because he hasn't shown it, so they're trying to win, and they're not going to put it all on his shoulders. Now, if it gets later in the year, okay, and you're not 2-1 in first place in the NFC North, then maybe it just makes sense. Hey, dude, you're going to go back there and throw it 40 times today. And we're going to do our best to not get you killed, but we're just going to let you learn on the fly.
Are they going to do that, though, once the team has the win-loss record where they're no longer in playoff contention? And they're like, all right, Justin, now we're going to let you let it rip. Because today they were playing to win, right? They're up 10-0 at one point, and I turned to my buddy Jake, and I'm like, hey, now's the time to let Justin throw a little bit. It looks like we're going to steamroll this team. Time to let Justin throw. I think they got it to 10-7, and then Justin threw an interception and was like, okay, never mind. Right?
I mean,
and that's how the coaching staff's thinking. But like later in the year when you're playing the Bills in early December and you have a losing record and you have no shot at the playoffs, are they just going to let Fields air it out? I don't know. And it's frustrating because how are we supposed to find out who he is if you're not going to throw on 3rd and 6? I don't care what mistakes he's made. You have to throw it on 3rd and 6 to find out the quarterback you have. If you don't, then we know nothing.
But right now, dude, they're telling you we know who he is. That they're saying it to you. They are telling you we know exactly who he is. That's and now can he make huge leaps? We all want to believe it.
Mm-hmm. He progressed last year with a coach that had no idea how to call plays.
So there's got to be some really you know what, I don't know what it looks like behind the scenes, but he's, you know, when Mitch at the very end started advocating for himself, when they benched him and he came back around and he came back, he really started playing a whole lot better. Now, I don't know what it looks like, what Justin would want that's not happening, if anything. But if there is something, I would encourage him to be, you know, as vocal about it as possible. Yeah. Even if he wants everyone to, you know, even if it's a new thing, he doesn't know where he stands, all that stuff. Advocate for yourself.
Can I tell you something that's going around social media right now that I absolutely love to see, though?
Yeah.
So Nick just got back up to the press box after doing the interviews. It's the game ended almost an hour ago now. And he's got a picture of Darnell Mooney still out on the field, full uniform, full pads, helmet on.
Jugs machine?
Catching passes from a jugs machine. That's I don't think I've ever seen that. Like an hour later. And so you said earlier you can't drop that ball.
He hears it.
He
knows it.
He obviously agrees with you.
Well, I love Darnell Mooney. I am a huge fan, and he is a tremendous asset. I am confused. Well, I'm not even confused because he's clearly just putting a little extra pressure on himself and not letting him let what he's body and all the work that he's put in, just let it take over. And I'm not worried about Darnell Mooney in the least. So, and that, by the way, doesn't surprise me either. Dude's got a jugs machine in his home. He's got a jugs machine in Florida. He's got like 7 jugs machines. So, you know, whatever talent that dude has, he's going to get it out of himself.
Yep.
I think the same thing for Fields too. Yeah. I don't think it's a work ethic thing.
Well, all right, let's do this. Let's go out to Soldier Field right now because I believe Will DeWitt is standing by with his thoughts on the game. Will, Bears 2-1. Nothing's wrong, man. Super Bowl or bust right now.
Bears are 2-0 in games that I attend. I think that's the stat that matters right here, Adam. But I don't know if he just chose Nick's tweet because he has that awesome Galaxy camera opposed to my iPhone 13 here, but I beat him by 1 minute online. Just saying. I had him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. His camera is a good camera. It's not a good phone. It is a camera that happens to make phone calls just not very well. As Lauren says hi. Sorry, Will. We had the volume a little bit down, so it was a little bit hard to hear you there at the beginning. I think we're good now. That was definitely on our end. Anyway, look, we're obviously talking a lot about Justin Fields. We're worried, man. We're worried because it appears it's gone backwards, which I didn't expect. Like, I definitely could have seen a scenario where he's up and down and kind of struggling here and there, but, you get your dose of good. It doesn't look great right now. Where are you right now on Justin Fields?
Man, I am very close to hitting that panic button. Just what I saw here today was very concerning. I think you guys are very on point with that assessment. Just some of the throws that he made just had me scratching my head. The interceptions, both of them should have been avoided. He had other guys open on the play. The balls themselves were not accurately placed. So those are two big mistakes. And then he's just not pulling the trigger, which we've seen all season so far, where he's hitting the back of his drop. There is somebody open. The window's a little tight, but it's the NFL. They're not as open as they were in college. You have to make those throws. And he's just not doing it. And then it allows the pressure to get to him. And either he goes down for a sack or tries to scramble and he takes unnecessary hits. There's just a lot not to like about his game. And I think we all believed heading into this season by week 3, we would at least be counting some of the positives as they continue to progress. But like you said, Adam, it feels like every week there's just other red flags that are starting to appear. And for me, like, I'm not going to hammer on that panic button right now. It is only week 3, but I'm getting very close.
Will, what do you think is going on here? In your best Will DeWitt understanding of what Adam's talking about, what everyone's saying, the field's going backwards. We all know it's a new system. We all know they've tweaked his fundamentals. I'm curious from your perspective, and I saw your tweets in the middle of the game. It's just saying, like, I'm sitting here up top and their dude's open. So what do you think's going on?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of not grasping his reads correctly, understanding how they're attacking a certain defense and knowing where to look, and that these defenses are confusing him a bit, and also just being shy. Like, you do get a little shell shocked after you get hit as many times as you did last year. And I understand there is a lot to undertake when you change offenses in your second year. You learn one NFL offense, you have to learn another. I get that that's a challenge, but he's a guy that I thought would be able to, like, overcome and, like, succeed within this challenge that he's been given. So I think it's a combination of a lot. I don't know if he trusts his offensive line, which is also a problem. So yeah, it's multifaceted, Carm, and I think that is perhaps the most concerning part, right? Like, it's not just like a point at one thing, like, okay, if we fix this, we're good. Like, there are multiple facets of his game that needs to improve in a hurry if we're going to want to see that progress that we want to see from him. But yeah, it's a lot.
Will, where is your take when it comes to, because I think a lot of Bears fans are already jumping to how long a leash you're going to give him. You say you're close to hitting the panic button, so you're not going to hit it yet. Hard to say how bad this season could go or if he can improve. Are you willing to keep an open mind to a third year, regardless of the outcome of this year, considering the weapons around him? Or do you want to see him have steady improvement regardless of the weapons around him this year before you make that determination?
I want to see how this plays out there, Greg. Like, that's an interesting question, and I think it would depend on how bad the bad is. Like, if the bad is just like bottom of the barrel, like it can't get any worse than this, and it starts the entire season, then you have to start looking at other options. If it's just middle of the road, like he's just not starting to take those steps forward, but he's not necessarily god awful, then you have to at least entertain that third year. I think regardless if either of those situations come to fruition, you have to at least bring like competition, someone to like push him from underneath and let the best man win the following year. I don't know if you roll in 100% if it's a bad year, but looking to add extra bodies like Trevor Siemian, he's not that kind of guy, but finding someone out there, whether it be free agency or in the NFL draft, would be something that I'd be open to if if it ends up being really bad. It's only week 3, so I'm hoping that this is a conversation come week 10 that we don't need to continue to have, but I understand that this is where we're at, and it's the reality we're given, and we have to start talking about it.
All right, Will, what else from this game do you want to discuss? What did you see, or even anything from downstairs after the game, too?
Yeah, sure. A few different things that I saw here today that I just wanted to highlight. I'm sure you guys are going to hit on all of them, but that Bears third down defense today I thought came up huge. Not just the Roquan interception at the end, but just all game long. They were able to get off the field in key situations, whether it be in the red zone, doesn't matter where they're on the field. Only 3 for 12 that they allowed this Texans offense to convert. I think that's a big reason why they came out on the winning side of this one. The offense wasn't doing them any favors. Special teams at points were giving them short fields to work with too, but that defense held tough throughout all of that. So that's one big thing that I took away from this game. Outside of that, yet again, the Bears being on discipline is starting to rear its ugly head. 6 penalties again here today for a team that's been preaching discipline. And we saw it throughout the preseason. The last 2 weeks have been anything other than that. And then I'm sure, again, I know you've talked about Khalil Herbert by now. I'm sure you have. But just seeing what he's been able to do, and even from up here in his vantage point, like you see like a crease or two, but his vision to like find those while also continuing to move downhill continues to impress me. And he's just very hard to bring down. In the locker room, he was just giving a lot of praise for his offensive line, the guys up front. And he just also mentioned he had 20 carries today, and just getting a workload like that, which he hasn't had. I don't know if he's had 20 yet in his young career. We'd have to go back and look at that. But getting that amount of carries, you mentioned like how that does help him get into a rhythm. He is a back that does feed by getting more carries. And he also, did say like, I'll do whatever they're asking of me. If I'm getting 5 carries, I'll make the most of those too. But it does definitely help if you're out there getting those extra touches and just really getting to a flow, wearing down a defense. And he feels like he becomes a better version of himself. So I thought that was a pretty good takeaway from Khalil.
Hey, Jacques, by the way, I see you in the chat saying, we won. Damn right we did. 2 and damn ass won. We were all celebrating.
You did it
again. Yeah, we were all celebrating the victory, and we're celebrating it, and we're also talking about the future with the quarterback right now. Will, what was the anything interesting? Was what I want to know from the locker room and or press conferences. Anything that stood out?
Talk to Vildor.
We did get a chance to talk to Kendall. He just mentioned, just trying to just hammer away, being his best. It was a lot of coach speak, honestly, here today, but just being in his position. He didn't know what happened to that ball, the one that got intercepted by Eddie Jackson. He just knew he got a hand on it. And next thing you know, he heard a big uproar from the crowd, and he's like, oh, something good must have happened, and looked up, and it was Eddie who had the interception. And Jackson, too, was giving Vildor a lot of praise for just being in the right place at the right time, helping him come away with a big play like that. And Roquan Smith mentioned on that game-winning interception that with it being a 3rd and short and just how this Texans offense was approaching them throughout the entire game, like he just felt it in his gut that they were going to just throw it past the sticks. They weren't going to try to move that ball downfield. They're going to try to just barely pass the sticks, get that first down, and live to fight another day. And he saw someone in his area of the field, decided to take a chance on it, jump it. And I think we're all happy that he did, coming with that interception. I don't know if you saw it on a broadcast, but he whipped that football like into the stands, and I think it hit the 200 level. The 200 level right up there too. And Eddie Jackson mentioned in the locker room that he was trying to get to Roquan, saying like, no, don't throw that thing. Keep it. That's like a game-winning ball. But that's just who Roquan is. He's a player that doesn't care about those sorts of things. So I thought that was just another interesting tidbit that came out.
Well, what did the mood in the locker room seem like? Was it like? I mean, was it like? Did it feel like a locker room where they won, or was it more like business-like, where you could probably kind of tell that it wasn't our best game, though?
Adam, it's almost like you've been in the locker room for over the years. It was that second one where it's more like, we got the win, but we have a lot of work still to do. It was nothing like that week 1 win in the rain, because that was like, an electric atmosphere. This was much more laid back, low key, and just, like I said, a lot of coach speak, a lot of just calm demeanor, and the overall vibe was like, okay, we got it done, but no one was glowing or anything of that nature.
Sigh of relief. 2 and 1. Yeah. Let's go. Was Flus asked about the end of the half, not taking a timeout?
That'll be a question for Nick here in a few moments.
Okay.
I hope he was, because that was on my list. If I ended up going to that press conference, I want to know what's going on. I'm sure you guys saw that too. It made sense if he doesn't trust that offense to move down the field and he doesn't want a mistake to give the Texans an opportunity to get points before the half. I get that. But for a guy that's been saying like, oh, I don't have any issues with this offense, I trust them, those actions right there, I think, spoke volumes about where he's at with this offense right now. And I mean, what the offense was doing prior to that in that second quarter, like I get it, not being super aggressive. And at the end of the day, like it did perhaps help them win this game. But in the moment, like watching it, like I was frustrated, like call the damn timeout, like doing a substitution, wasting 20 seconds, like pretty much you're conceding into the half. And I thought that was a little passive, a little soft, to be honest. But also, if he does, again, not trust that offense and fears that they can only hurt the team in that situation, then as a head coach, it may not be a very attractive decision to come down to. But at the end of the day, like he's the guy to make that call. And I wonder what Nick will have to say about that question if he was asked that.
Yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, I know we've been harping on a bit, but again, a win is a win. I'm happy to be up here in the city to watch yet another Chicago Bears victory, 2-0 at home, which the players did mention in the locker room that they are taking pride of, winning these games at Soldier Field this year. So to improve 2-0 in their home turf meant a lot to this unit. And at the end of the day, I'm glad that they end up winning. We all had this game pretty close. It was just yet another weird Bears game. Nick and I were talking about it actually on the way down to the interviews. Every Bears game just feels like it's the weirdest football game I've ever watched, and this one was no exception whatsoever. I watch all these other games and they feel normal. No Bears game has felt normal in quite a long time, but I'm going to take the win. It's going to make my drive home a lot easier, a lot happier, and I hope everyone watching feels the same. It's okay to be critical, but it's also okay to enjoy the win too. You have to find that balance. I'm sure you guys are doing a great job on the show doing that too.
It's weird they don't have another Sunday game at Soldiers till November the 6th.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, they got
five
you say
games.
home game?
Home game.
The Thursday.
Yeah,
he said Sunday home game.
Oh,
Sunday.
sorry.
Yeah, like just a Sunday noon, heart and soul, CHGO tailgate
We'll be like
Sunday
6-1 by then.
We'll be
so
6-1 by then.
Good point. Just running the table.
Did you guys, real quick, did you guys see when the score was tied 20-20? So we had the same exact score, the same amount of yards, and time of possession was just seconds apart. Like, it could not have been any more even. Like, two different paths to get there by each team, but it was like a dead heat all the way down. And I don't know if I've ever seen that in a game either.
I got to say, that's a great underline. And Lovey just looked like he was, I don't know, on a little casual Sunday stroll. Basically, the way I looked at his demeanor all day was, I've been in the league. I've made a ton of money. I have no idea how I got another head coaching job, but I did. I got my Santa beard on. I'm chilling. Like, if we win, great. If not, I'm 2-1.
I'm back in Chicago where I still have a house here. I'm chilling.
They I'm
going to challenge this play I shouldn't challenge just for old time's sake.
Right. I'm going to, hey, that's a sweet fake pun. I'm going to give you the thumbs up. He was just, it was, I don't know, the whole Lovey experience of watching him today. The dude seems so damn relaxed, for whatever that's worth.
I appreciate that perspective because, as you know, up here, I just see the backside of him. I see the shiny head. I think it was glowing when the sun came out. And the beard. Those were the two things that I noticed from my perspective. But for you to share that vantage point, I think it makes me a little, I don't know, I guess happy too, just that he's just chilling out there and he wasn't coaching too hard. Who knows what would have happened if he actually did.
All right, well, good stuff, my man. Make sure everyone's following him on Twitter at Will DeWitt. Those L's in there are ones. Make sure you get that right. WI11 DeWitt on Twitter. Good stuff. Talk to you soon.
Sounds
Thanks,
great.
Will.
See you tomorrow, Greg.
Later, Will.
There
After
he is.
dark, baby.
Yep, they'll have Bears After Dark tomorrow night for you.
Another great show, baby. Let's
I'm
go,
getting
Brags.
blasted in the chat because I'm trying to keep up with the chat on my phone. These guys got laptops, all right? So I tried the laptop. I don't have a small one like these guys. I have a giant one, and it's too hard for me. It's distracting. I'm better with my phone, all right? Relax.
Exactly. Relax.
Plus, we're also, believe it or not, we're actually communicating with each other through
Yeah.
the interwebs.
We are.
To plan for
Trying
the
to be
next thing.
interactive.
Yes. Like
But I like T. He's just trying to. He wants the
times-
best for this show. So hey, I can take criticism.
A lot of times
all
I'm
day
just
long.
telling Carm, hey, this is the read you have to do here in 30
is that
seconds.
I
a
want
hint?
to do a read eventually.
it's
No one
FOCO.
trusts me with the read.
Okay, you want to do the FOCO read?
No, I don't have the notes.
I'll give
in
it to you
front of
right
me.
here, buddy.
All right. Well, first of all, Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of CHGO. We love our Pins and Aces gear. Get tons of compliments on and off the course. They're a family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, even our favorite beer sleeve. That's my favorite. It's an innovative product that allows you to store 7 beers right inside your golf bag. Keep drinks cold the entire round. Check out pinsandaces.com. Use code CHGO to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com.
You're up, buddy.
I'm doing the FOCO read.
Yes.
Hey,
Here we go.
I'm too distracted. The laptops are too
FOCO.
distracting. I mean, it works, and it blocks my fat belly here, so I like that. But at the same time, I'm ADHD, so I can't handle this much in front of me. The phone is better. But shout out to FOCO. Chicago, you've already got the best coverage for your favorite teams. So get fitted out in the best sports gear around. FOCO got you covered from Soldier Field to the front room, north or south side, with hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. Merch and collectibles. FOCO, looking for the perfect gift for the football fan in your life? FOCO's got you covered with hoodies.
FOCO.
FOCO. With hoodies to fight that in Lake Michigan. Breeze. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. I did it.
Well
Finale-
done. Well done.
Hey, you're
That's a first time read.
You're
That's
an
a first time read,
official-
ladies and gentlemen.
I might clip that off and just use that every day.
That was a
that'd be
train wreck.
great.
But we're all learning together. Justin's learning. I'm learning.
Izzy.
We're all learning.
I'm learning.
And the people in the chat that are saying that Davis Mills looked better than Justin, that's true, except when he threw the damn ass pick. But
damn ass pick. That damn ass
That
pick.
damn ass
That
pick.
Justin
That
also
damn
threw.
tour guide.
his was worse. Mills's was worse. Mills looked. I going into the game. I said earlier in the week when you remember this. Adam Hoge, back me up here.
Someone said that Mills' pass got deflected though by Angelo Blackson.
Yeah. Okay.
If that's true, then it might not have been as bad. I don't know.
Fair enough. But I said going into the week when I was watching Texas tape, this dude looks more comfortable in the pocket than Justin. He does. So,
All right.
we got ways to go here.
We will talk to Nicholas Moreano here momentarily whenever he's ready to go from Soldier Field. Let's get through some super chats here. That sound good. Then we still got Carm's notes coming up. And we got to get out of here, too, because, we got to go subject ourselves to rewatching that game. Daniel Trump says, pay Roquan, $10 super chat. Pay Roquan. Side note on that subject, I hope David Montgomery's knee ankle injury is not that bad because he's in a contract year. Khalil Herbert, though, made a statement for himself
And
today.
it further outlined, like, as emotional as we are, like, for me, even as a Bears fan, watching the way he ran against Green Bay, I'm like, okay, pay that dude. But at the same time, then you see what happens today. Khalil Herbert immediately comes in, runs for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you're like, if you're in a win now mode, the way the Bears were when they let go of Thomas Jones, that wasn't the right decision. They went with the cheaper option with Cedric Benson. The team was not happy with that decision, I know for a fact, talking to some of his former teammates.
Oh, yeah.
But this team isn't in win now mode. As much as we want them to be, the fact is they are not. So you see when David Montgomery gets hurt and Khalil Herbert immediately picks up that slack, the reality is you probably shouldn't re-sign this guy no matter how talented or how hard he runs.
I like David Montgomery, and we need more playmakers than less. Let's let it play out. But to the whole, that sucks.
Yeah, just for him personally, it's like
That
It
sucks.
does suck.
Get
It does suck. And
Finger-
hopefully he's fine. But
fingers
we'll see.
crossed that
We won't know till late
they,
Wednesday.
we had Nick's tweet in there, I think, at some point. Day to day, that's a report coming out on David Montgomery. So that's good news.
Meanwhile, the super chat was about paying Roquan, just to confirm that.
Pay Roquan.
Yeah, I read it, and then I was like, what about paid? Well, that one's obvious. Of course you pay Roquan. They're going to
They
pay
offered him a
Roquan.
good contract. I mean, they did offer him a good contract.
They're going to pay him eventually. It's going to be fine. This one from Gar88. Are those euros?
Sure, yeah. He's
that what that is?
from Ireland. You could read along and see what his name is.
That was rough. Take the W, move on, but worried about the passing game on both sides of the ball. From, I can't read that. How do you say that?
Hey, I believe it's Gerard, but I don't really know for sure.
Okay. Well, best of luck pronouncing my name. Okay, at least you pointed that out. We tried. Hey, we tried, you know?
Love you coming in from Ireland, my friend. Thank you.
Absolutely. Chubbs. What's up, Chubbs?
Chubbs
Chubbs.
is my guy. I take claim to Chubbs.
I love the dog.
Chubbs
in his
says,
avatar.
hey, we
better
won
or
today,
worse.
guys. Cheer up.
Okay, Chubbs, you want us to sing the fight song? You know Chubbs. What would Chubbs want for us on a cheer up?
He would want us to sing Bear Down right now.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. We're
Make every
2-1
play
and
clear the way to victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up the fight with your might so fearlessly. These guys don't know the words. We'll never forget the way you thrilled the nation
with your T formation. Bear down.
Stop T formation.
Chicago Bears.
How about some T
and
for
let
touchdown?
Chubbs know why you're wearing the crown.
Chubbs.
And the negative media won't let us down. Chicago Bears.
Bear down. Chubbs, there you go, brother. That was worth $2.
I got you.
Gosh,
I did it.
that was
I did it,
amazing.
Chubbs.
We'll be clipping that
That's
off.
for you.
Okay, back to the negativity. Black Rider says, $4.99. I'm honestly pissed that we won. I love Fields still, but he just ain't it. Give us Bryce Young.
Don't worry about the W. If the Bears want to move on from Fields, if they don't think he's it, the win's not going to cover it up. But
If you told me that Fields looks like this after 3 games and the Bears would be 2-1, I would've
I'm not
said,
surprised.
No way.
well,
Hey, I bet the over on the wins. I'm not surprised they're 2-1.
Yeah, you did have him at 9 wins.
I'm not. Yeah, they're not getting there
They're not getting there.
with this quarterback play.
no chance.
What's weird is I'm more worried about my over 6.5 bet now after them winning 2 out of their first 3 games than I was when it was 0-0 before the season started.
But the schedule still doesn't change, right? Because they have the Giants next week at New York.
Well, it
is
changes in that teams end up being better than you thought. Some end up being worse. Like
Okay,
the Giants game next week,
It's a toss-up. It's a coin flip game.
they're playing on Monday Night Football tomorrow night. I'm very interested to watch that game.
So a short week for them.
The short week for them, although I believe both games are at home, right? Because they're home tomorrow against the Cowboys, I believe.
I don't know.
Double
And
checking for
I
you
think
right
it's
now.
in New York tomorrow night, and then they're home next week.
That's correct.
So,
That is correct.
Law of averages says that Justin's gonna play better.
That's where I'm going.
well, and that's where my streak of it's not my streak, his streak, where I've been saying he rarely has 2 bad games in a row.
Said 3. Well,
No, the first
The
game
Niners,
was
second half,
was fine.
bounce back.
It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was enough.
the
to win.
first half was bad.
That's true.
The Giants, by the way, they're 2-0, but they snuck by the Titans, who stink, and they snuck by the Panthers, who stink. So
Well, we'll see tomorrow.
It's a coin flip game. So, I mean, that's
I am
for
picking the
later in the
Cowboys
week.
tomorrow
But
night,
at
by
the
the way.
same time, like, that's what I always said to start this season. They have winnable games. That's why I have been so fired up with some of these games. I want to see them win games here early on so we can have things interesting, not just about the future, which is obviously the focal point, Justin Fields' future, the Bears' future.
The
but
focal point?
The
Just checking.
focal point.
Foco.
Shout out Foco.
Shout out to Foco.
Yeah, but also if this team can be competitive into early November, we can, pretend like this team has a competitive chance, even though we know in the second half of the season they're probably going to get bulldozed if you look at their schedule. I don't care. I'm going to play it week to
like
week and see how things go. And at this point, they're 2-1.
All right, let's get to Nick.
Let's.
He's standing by Soldier Field. He's taking pictures and stuff of Darnell Mooney catching passes.
Dude was
Comments
there.
are hilarious, by the way.
He was there for Flus, which
He's got to get his work in because he doesn't get the passes thrown to him in the game.
Dude needs to he's probably got to go do yoga now too, and after that he's probably going to go play in a pickup football game somewhere. Let's go
What's up, Nick?
What's going on, you guys? I joined in when you guys are singing the Bears fight song, so I was like, okay, things are getting interesting on the CHGO post game.
I sang the Bears fight song, Nick. These guys don't know the words. Pretty pathetic.
I also don't sing in general.
I know some of the words.
I learned that lesson. All right, Nick, tell us what's going on in the locker room or the post-game press conferences.
Yeah, let's start with Justin Fields, you guys. And, he was just really critical of himself, didn't really hold back words. He wanted to call his performance and say the A word, but he just said he played like trash. There wasn't no other way of getting around it. But still, he says his confidence is normal, is how he put it. His confidence is normal after this performance. But he knows he needs to play better. He needs to play better for his teammates and, he's going to go after today's game and go watch the film because, obviously there were a lot of plays they left out there on the field today. He also talked about the interceptions. You guys obviously thrown the 2. He said for the Cole Kmet, just straight up missed the throw. It's his first read on the play. He did say that EQ is an option there, but his first read was open. He just simply missed the throw and wasn't able to hit Cole Kmet on a play that they've been practicing. You guys, that's like the route, similar to the route that they've been practicing after each practice, but wasn't able to connect right there. And then the second interception.
That makes it worse.
Yeah.
Correct.
Doesn't that make it worse? They practice that at the end of every
practice. It wasn't that
practice?
hard of a throw. He was wide. He had plenty of separation.
I don't think any piece of news that we're going to get out of this is going to make it better, is my guess. And
I kind of like that Justin basically said he played like ass. He stopped himself from using that word.
I know, such a bad word. Oh, my gosh.
Terrible word. Yeah. Just call me ID with the Justin playing like Kobe White is very funny.
I love that. That's an amazing job.
Although Kobe White's getting a big year this year. Bulls media day tomorrow. Keep going, Nick. What?
You were in the middle.
Yeah.
What else from the?
Yeah, really quick. Yeah, obviously just very critical of himself. The second interception, he basically said he got hit while he was throwing that ball, and he said for the next time, just take the check down. And see, the problem is, you guys, we're seeing, we usually don't see the back-to-back bad games. We're kind of seeing the same mistakes over and over again. And that's where I think this is why we're so sour on this 23-20 victory. The quarterback didn't play well. And he's making the same mistakes that we're seeing in recurring games now. And, take the check down. We've heard Justin Fields say that again. Next time I'll just do that. So that's obviously what his take was on the 2 interceptions. And he isn't making excuses, though, for the people saying, oh, it's still early. It's 3 games until Luke gets his offense. Nah, he said, throw that away. I'm not making that excuse for myself. I'm obviously very critical of how he's playing. But so far, I could see why, there are some comments feeling I feel like we should have just lost this game because he doesn't feel any better.
Well, you get the win, you take the win. But I don't care if you got hit, Justin. You threw the ball in triple coverage. The ball never should have been thrown. I don't care if he's getting hit or not.
All those I gotta watch the press conference to really digest it because I've gotten myself in trouble already, not fully, but that just seems a little bit weird. What did Flus say, Nick, about the end of the first half? No timeout.
Yeah, so that was interesting. He said, obviously at the end of the first half, the Bears have all 3 of their timeouts. He said at 46 seconds, he said the team needs to be better because they were in 13 personnel on that 3rd and 1, and then they subbed right afterwards. And because the Bears subbed, Eberflus should have called a timeout with 35 seconds and didn't do that after, the Bears were subbing in different personnel. So he said that's on him. But he also mentioned before that he was concerned that, okay, if you don't get the first down, you're giving the Texans an opportunity to drive the ball back. But it's okay, you're already concerned if you don't get the first. That, I think, actions speak louder than words, and it showed right then and there, the Bears didn't trust Fields, right? And I know the subbing, he should have called a timeout, but that's kind of what the situation was right before the end of the first half.
Wait, I'm sorry, Nick. So he did basically admit that he should have called timeout when they were subbing. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Yep. He should have called timeout.
I'm sorry, but that is just head coach 101.
Right.
You got the first down. Now you have to sub your personnel, so you call timeout. You have 3 of them.
And even if you don't
it's like he didn't realize it until
right
halftime.
And even if you don't, exactly, because even if you don't realize it right away, you have to realize it as the clock is starting to wind down, the players are coming off the field.
I got to be honest. Like, I just thought in the moment it was because they didn't trust the quarterback. He just screwed up.
No, because
that's
they
what
were
that's
almost
telling me.
at
He just
midfield.
the head coach just screwed up.
It's inexcusable.
He might be falling on the sword for his quarterback. There's an outside chance that that's going on. But I would also put out there that that's an easily correctable thing. And the Bears hired a first-time head coach, first-time offensive coordinator who's dealing with a quarterback who needs a lot of managing.
I guess that's it's a decent point. Like, you can be as old as you. I mean, you could be 70, but if you're being a head coach for the first time in your life,
things moving fast, man.
It's the first time you're doing it.
Yeah,
but that can't happen again. That was really bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and guys too, like he was asked about Fields and his struggles today, and he kind of worked around the question. He mentioned when working with a new quarterback and a new offense, people around him have to be solid: protection, run game, defense, special teams. He mentioned you have to support the quarterback as he is growing. Kind of opposite what Fields said. Like he was asked, like, obviously it's a new offense, that doesn't matter, but when you ask Matt Eberflus, like, everything else needs to be better to help this young quarterback be better in this new offense. So kind of tiptoed around answering exactly why Fields struggled and kind of said, well, everybody else needs to be better so we can kind of help this young quarterback in this new system.
Nick, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Will, because we're kind of, as fans, already extrapolating to, the future with Justin Fields, because that's all everyone is concerned with. If he continues to play poorly, like just how poorly, Will wasn't ready to hit the panic button yet, but he's close. I can tell you're definitely concerned. How much leash are you willing to give Justin Fields into a potential year 3, considering the weapons he has around him? Or are you not giving that a benefit of the doubt and you want to see true progression this year regardless of what's around him before you say, I'm giving him a year 3 chance?
I think the big thing, you guys, it's like, and Will mentioned this during the game when we were watching the press box, like every play is a different story. It's not all just on Justin Fields. Like maybe the offensive line's breaking down one play. The wide receivers aren't getting open. There could be a play where Fields isn't making the right read, holding the ball too long. But it's like, for the things that I was mentioning earlier, he just can't keep making the same reoccurring mistakes. If we're seeing that throughout the entirety of this season, not only are you not getting a true evaluation of Fields because you don't have enough talent around him, but he's just not getting better. So I'm not quite there to hit the panic button. I'm not going to do that, 3 games into this new offense. But if we're seeing the same thing from Fields, game in and game out, you're going to be at the end of the season saying, what did we learn? What did we learn about Justin Fields? And do we know what we have here? If that's the case, Greg, then you're in a really crappy situation moving forward because you have this high draft pick, obviously a lot of talent, but you just don't know if he's capable of being that guy because maybe he is making those same mistakes. He doesn't have the offensive line in place, the weapons around him. So it's not like 3 games in. Yes, they're 2-1, but man, it doesn't feel like a 2-1 team right now because you just don't know how the quarterback is, or he's not doing well, and we just don't know if he's going to show anything, and we just need to see that at some point.
All right,
Spot on, Nick.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. All right. What else from the Flus?
Yeah, real quickly, there you go, the Flus. He talked about Roquan Smith. He was asked simply, why was he so much more productive in this game? He said he's just getting comfortable in the defense, you guys. I think maybe that was an underrated thing coming in from the defensive switch, but he's a linebacker that's now playing downhill. Said the 3-4 linebacker is so much different than what the 4-3 inside linebacker is seeing and where his eyes are keyed in on. And he just said that Roquan's starting to feel that downhill speed and is getting a lot closer. He was asked, is that like a Darius Leonard type of game? And he said it's getting closer to the production you see out of a guy like that.
Yeah, I think I saw that on film watching last week. Like, he just looked hesitant. He didn't look comfortable. He looked like somebody who should have played in the preseason. I think we talked about that Monday. Like, I understand the contract stuff, whatever. You got to do your business, get it. But I think it hurt him. I think it set him back last week. I think it directly impacted that game he had against the Packers. But good for him. He came back after not practicing this week. I thought early on in the game he looked a little banged up, to be honest. And then next thing you know, you look up and he's got 15, 16 tackles by the end. I'm like, oh, okay.
Was there any kind of counterpunch you noticed from the press box, Nick, of, because it seemed like the Packers were running right at, Roquan Smith last week. Now he has a big game this week. Was there any kind of counterpunch to the defensive, formation or strategy as far as counterpunching that attack from an offense?
Well, just like Eberflus said, it just seemed like Roquan was playing downhill. There were a couple plays where you're seeing 58 just lunge out of nowhere, tackling the running back in the backfield. Like, that's a guy that's just playing quick and not allowing the blocks to come to him. He's the enforcer on these plays, and that was good to see from Roquan Smith. But I think that was just the biggest difference: comfortability and playing fast. And you see what happens for a player like him. Obviously, very talented, one of the best at his position in the league. Once he got a grasp of that in this defense, you saw the results, just tackling everywhere on the field.
Hey, Nick, we're saying goodbye, but just one word answer. After Justin Fields spoke, were you more confident, less confident, or same in his future?
Same. Again, I still need time. Still need time to see it, but again, it's not very encouraging what we've seen so far.
Okay.
Nick, you're the best. Great stuff. We'll be reading everything you have on allchgo.com. Good stuff on Twitter as well, at Nicholas Moreano. You can see that photo we put up earlier of Darnell Mooney. He's not still out there now, is he?
No, he eventually went in, you guys. He went in, but again, I don't know how long he was out there, but by the time I got up from being in the locker room, being at the press conference, Darnell Mooney was working that jugs machine. So we all know about his work ethic. And it shows, an hour and 30 minutes after the game.
So you're not out on Justin Fields, correct? Before I start blasting the chat.
No, not completely out yet. Nope.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Great.
See you, Nick.
All right, you guys.
No one is out.
You're not out.
You're not out.
You're
not
out
out.
on your
out,
pen,
correct?
apparently. You lost his pen.
I lost my
We're
pen.
out on the pen.
You're not out, correct?
No, I'm not out.
I'm not out. T. Crane, I see you're fired up in the chat. Nobody's out on him. I get you don't want to talk hypotheticals. We're talking hypothetically.
We're talking about now.
We're
talking
into
about
the
what we're
future.
seeing.
Right,
This isn't a
because
hypothetical.
you
It's an
can't-
evaluation of today's shitty game.
You can't avoid the hypothetical discussion as far as how the rest of the season is going to go when the last two games he's thrown for 100 yards or less in both games.
T. Crane.
You're upset. We're not moving off of him, but at the same time, yes, Josh Allen struggled to start his career. We understand all this. We're going to give him time, but you have to be fair to what is going on right now and understand that we have to think about everything from the right now to the full picture.
T. Crane, first of all, to anybody out there for that matter, stop comparing him to Josh Allen. They don't look anything alike. Josh Allen is a complete freak of nature. Justin Fields is if he gets anywhere close to Josh Allen, I will be completely stunned at this point. I'm not saying he can't be a capable quarterback. I'm not saying he can be a good quarterback. He ain't Josh Allen. Sorry, Josh Allen has a cannon for an arm. He is a physical freak. He's 6'5". He runs people over. The dude he's not that. He is not going to be Josh Allen. Sorry.
It's right there on your shirt.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
And another thing. and another thing. We're not out. But I think as Bears fans, we don't have to be so sensitive about it. I know I can't tell anybody how to Bears fan. I don't want to tell anybody how to Bears fan. But we listen. We've been here. We've seen this. We know what it looks like,
Yes.
and we're seeing a lot of it right now.
And I'm gonna at least speak for myself. I don't know where you want to come in on this, Braggs, but I think I hung on to Mitch a little bit too long.
Well,
I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I also don't want to overreact this time around. I'm going to learn my lessons from that, but I also don't want to be out on Justin too early. I was just hoping to see a lot better at this point.
Hey, listen, long season. I said he can get better. He will get better. How's that? He's going to get better. He will be better next week against the Giants.
I don't know if we should have a Matt Nagy jar or a Mitch jar for every time we bring up the one of the
some kind
two.
of jar.
But
Here's
it's
a jar.
You say, did I hold on to Mitch too long?
This was full
Of
of
course,
beer.
everyone knows me as the Mitch guy from 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever you want to say. But I told guys in the stands in his third year when we lost to the Chargers on a missed field goal because Nagy wouldn't move the ball up, I'm like, all right, either keep going with Mitch and see what you got, or wipe the slate entirely clean and get Jalen Hurts and Lincoln Riley
still mad they
in
didn't
here
draft Jalen
right
Hurts.
now. And they didn't choose to do that. And so we get into the offseason of that crap, and it's Nick Foles or whoever. Yeah, I was taking Mitch over Nick Foles. That's who our options were. So what are, you're talking about who our options are next year. If Justin Fields is our best option, then I'm riding with Justin Fields. If right now Justin Fields is our best option, nobody's going to be coming up that we're going to be able to get through free agency or in the draft that's a better option than Justin Fields. I'm not out on this guy. I'm going to give him a third year regardless of the options. But you can't say that you can't consider having a contingency plan if this is how he looks the rest of the year. We don't know yet. So we are fully aware of that. It's 3 games into the season.
It's fine.
We have 14 more to go. But as of right now, you have to consider some of these options. It's maybe a tough conversation. I understand Mitch got 4 years. I understand there's layers to this conversation as far as pride in Justin Fields, whether it's through whether you predicted he was going to be good, or let's just say it. I understand it's 3 white guys on this freaking panel.
How many
but
videos are you
there
gonna do
is
on the way
a
home?
race. There is a layer of, a race when it comes to Justin Fields. There's a lot of people in Chicago that take a lot of pride in Justin Fields, especially from the black community. And I respect those people. I'm not trying to say if Mitch Trubisky got 4 years, Justin Fields deserves 4 years. And I want to talk to everybody that has these kind of opinions. I get it. There's nuance to this conversation. Justin Fields deserves every opportunity that Mitch Trubisky got. And we're getting into a deeper layered conversation, but I see it on Twitter every day, so I'm going to call it like I see it. Nobody's saying that Justin Fields doesn't deserve every opportunity he's going to get. I wouldn't be out on him right now, but if it's for 100 yards or less every game, you have to start considering other options. That's where I'm going with it. There's a lot of different conversation when it comes to him, and I just want Bears fans to try to understand the nuance when it comes to it. And also, when I'm talking about his weapons and things like that. So there's things that I can say that defend him, but you can't just go full out and act like some of these things aren't on Justin too. So it's a big conversation, I think, and let's just hope he plays better, and then we don't have to get into some of these nuances that get a little dicey.
I just want to make a personal plea. Like, I don't have enough time in my life to start watching all these quarterbacks at the college level. So please don't. Justin, please start playing better so I don't have to do that. And like, I know who the good ones are, but like, come on.
I have a personal request too, Braggs. When you go home tonight and you have whatever just went on in your head going on all night long, I want every video put out there. I want 5 more soliloquies. I get it. You're in the conversation.
I'm passionate about it.
I know you are in the conversation, dude. You're right there. And for the record,
Lovey
it was
says
just
a good game.
I love the Lovey thing. It was his 13th start today. He's 4-9 as a starter if we're counting wins. Wins is not what we should be looking at. Should we do
and today's the best example of why we shouldn't be looking at wins, by the way.
So,
all right, we should get to Carm's notes, wrap this puppy up. Can't wait for this one. I never remember what I say during the game, so here we go.
Well, the game started today. Head of content, Kevin Kadek, sitting with us, said they don't lose in these uniforms, and he turned out to be right. And Hoge's response, he was kind of question. They don't lose in these uniforms, right? And I was like, I don't know.
I couldn't remember what they've done.
Yeah.
He's probably right.
Get the notebook. What?
Yeah, I got
Blue.
I got Fields, Hyde, to Pringle. Remember when Byron Pringles was playing today before he got hurt?
Nope. I don't remember him playing this season.
Yeah, well, it was
when he had that double false start.
It wasn't a good throw, but Pringle did have a catch today. Kevin also was complimenting Lovie Smith's beard. That's an all-time great beard.
Good beard.
I
like it.
Yeah, and then the first they don't trust him on a handoff to Monty makes the front page here.
I said that.
There's the highlights right there.
Probably everybody said that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I do not have that attributed to anybody.
Oh, classic journalist, not even attributing quotes.
That's a bad job. That's page 1. All right. I'll don't worry. I'll get that. This was a good one. from Hoge. I know Jimmy Morrissey. He went to Pitt. I'm going to send a text. I wanted clarification. Is it Jim or Jim?
No.
Who was Jimmy Morrissey?
I was
in
saying
today's
that
game?
I was going to receive a text from somebody who, surprisingly, I never received that text.
That was the backup center today. We had Quisenberry on the Questenberry. We had him on the pregame show, and then all of a sudden he got hurt. We went to Morrissey, and this dude's referencing Morrissey.
Yeah, who doesn't know the backup center for the Houston Texans?
Yeah, right, of course. And then great blocking, I underline, on the touchdown run with Herbert. Borum and Braxton Jones was at the goal line taking out would-be tacklers. That was sweet, making it 10-0. And then I wrote down that Kyler Gordon got smoked again, where Gordon they realized that he's selling out on that run. They're taking advantage of him. That was quite obvious. That is page 2. I got tear signs here for Demo and the ankle and the knee. Doubtful to return. Nicholas Morrow made the shoe with a great tackle. Lovey got that penalty on Jalen Jones. That was your comment because he was talking to the official.
He wanted. He had the side judge yelling at him about PI. He wanted pass interference. Then literally the next snap, they call a ticky-tack holding call that had nothing to do with the play. And honestly, the replay showed it really wasn't holding anyway. Defensive holding. So good for Lovey. He got his penalty out of it.
Yeah. And then on the 3rd and 6 run with 9:39 left in the second quarter that we talked about earlier, they don't trust Justin Fields. Cole Kmet holding was an irritant. It was an irritant. I have that on the notes here. And then
he got beat up on that play.
Yeah, and then right before the half, I wrote it down and we've talked about it. Either call timeout or walk off the field. Come on, team. What are we doing here? And I also I got Davis Mills with the clean pocket. And then to start the second half, I wrote down the Bears D. I was worried in the second quarter that they were tired, and that was what was going on. Not tired. They were just getting beat. That was what was going on because right after halftime, it didn't look good. Khalil Herbert, the 52-yard run.
We got to conserve our paper better.
We do.
How many sheets do you go through a game?
Well, I write big, so I can read them.
He does. He writes very big.
One page.
Yeah, I'm a big writer. But I use
got
both.
Like the Nagy playbook, and you've got the ebook.
Actually, keep doing what you do because it makes the segment better.
Okay, well
We'll plant a couple trees.
Except go back to yellow though, because the graphic's yellow.
You did do that.
Yeah, that's true. I got to get another yellow page, and we're on to blue. But surprise! I'll move through the rest of these quickly. Surprise! The fullback is back on the field. That's when Herbert had the 52-yard run.
Yeah,
and Kari,
fullback.
Yeah, so you were saying surprise! Fullback on the field. I was saying Kari Blassingham, love you. Don't concuss the Bears after he cracked Herbert with the headbutt. So it was a great job.
That's one of my favorite things. You know when a guy gets kind of has his bell rung and he's laying on the ground for a while and then he gets up and then they smack him on the head hang in there, buddy. It's like, why do you do that? He just had his head hit.
Yeah,
he has a brain injury. Let's not smack him on the head.
Right. I mean, Jim McMahon did it a million times. He's not exactly – he could use more of his faculties these days. The Bear mascot weirdo in the stands. You made it. You were wearing a Peyton jersey.
Ooh.
Oh, we thought that might be you.
We thought it was you.
Yeah, there was –
What bear? You ain't talking about Bear Man, are you?
No. There was one that was wearing like a bear head, like a mascot costume.
Was it you?
It was not me.
It was like a teddy bear head.
He looked adorable.
Is it a kid?
No, well, we don't know who it was.
I don't know, but he had it on the whole game. They kept cutting to him.
He was right behind.
Bear Man's a Hall of Famer. So
it wasn't Bear Man.
It wasn't Bear Man.
Bear
Man was on TV at least twice a day, maybe more than that.
Thanks for the CHGO shout out, Bear Man. By the way, that Greg Bragg's secured.
Yeah, and
got you. Bear Man's not in.
Can the Bears get a stop after they went up 2017? And the answer by all sitting there was no. Webster, the wobbler to Mooney, that was a huge, which actually wasn't a wobbler. I should note that because it was a bullet that just had a little bit of shake to it. But Hoge's comment at that point was, I was scared because
I thought that was going to be intercepted.
We were watching Justin Fields. And
basically, I was scared any time he dropped back in the second half.
Yeah. And, Kevin wrapped up with maybe the Texans were going to head into 2 ties here, but which did not happen. Bears win, and
The other one was 20-22.
No note about how I busted in the door. I see how it is.
yeah, no, I
already mentioned that. That was hilarious.
yeah. I had one other here. The Texans jumped 3 times on the 1 punt, and then the Bears ended up getting the 5-yard.
Oh, yeah. They literally jumped off sides 3 times, and then the penalties on the Bears for the false start.
Yeah, they had a chance there, and then it didn't happen, and that will do it for Cardinals.
You didn't put in there that at one point I threatened to buy a Kari blasting game jersey.
I missed that.
I like
That's
Kari.
true. You want?
Yeah, I might
More
go
Kari,
full
more better.
fullback. All right. I thought the quote of the day though went to Mr. Lawrence over there. He said Cameron Johnson, the Texans punter, was awesome, right? He goes, Cameron Johnson, best Buckeye on the field today. Sad truth.
Yeah. Well,
You did say that, and it was accurate.
Fields is 8 for 17.
All right, let's get through a couple things, and we got to go, okay? Can we just play Tevin Jenkins? Just play him?
I know.
What is
More
this nonsense?
I thought we were done with this
They
week.
didn't even start him. I honestly can't even keep track of what the snap count is. I'm interested to see that in the morning when the snap count's available to us. The drop snaps, figure it out. I don't know if it's the quarterback or the center. Just stop it. This isn't high school football. In fact, it doesn't even really happen in high school football that much.
I'm
We
with
just
you.
snap the ball.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Everyone's with you.
Let's see what else we got here.
I got 3 more super chats to finish up.
Yeah,
with.
yep, I got you. The fake punt. Obvious fake punt territory.
Obvious.
That was not good.
I thought they actually were ready for it, and they just got beat.
Well, maybe. That might be possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially that. And then we had the classic Lovey challenge. Joe Thomas got to pick up that ball. Jack Sanborn definitely would have. And then the last thing I had was blitz the boot, but we talked about that. So
Shout out to Barb Braggs, who was awesome, and
Yes.
and
And
Ma-
Graham.
Jen.
Barb Graham.
Barb Braggs. Okay,
I
and
got you.
Mama Braggs was sweet, and it was amazing to meet her.
I
and
did. I talked to her about snickerdoodles. I told her it's snickerdoodle
Oh, man.
season. so,
She knows what's up in the cookie game.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I'm excited.
I also have to give Braggs a shout out because I took the phone out and I started filming him for an Instagram video. Him playing bags. The game was on the line. He
Yep.
goes, "This is where I go full MJ." He
Jordan
drains
time.
it and wins the game.
Jordan time.
yes.
He backed up all the talk. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
And it was high winds. Boards were sliding. They long
He's
distance.
playing the
Whoever
wind.
set up the boards had them long.
Do you,
I'm ready. Whoever wants that smoke,
Let's
bring
go.
it on.
since you're such an MJ fan, and we want to end the show on a positive note, do you know 27 in the 4th against the Bucks in '89 in the game winner when he's had 50? Because if you don't, I want you to
Wait,
go home.
say that
Wait,
again.
what was the
You're
question? You
such
said
a
that so
fast.
fast.
That's what I'm saying.
What's the question?
All right, let me
Head
slow down.
spinning.
Let me slow down. I'm sorry. I will slow down. Do you know the MJ Bulls 19? I want to say 89 game against Milwaukee in the regular season when Jordan had 27 in the 4th, 50 for the game, and the game winner. Do you know that one?
I mean, I was 4 years
Okay,
old in
exactly.
1989.
Exactly. So when you
Mark,
So when you go home tonight, just go on YouTube, Bulls, Bucks, Jordan 50 game winner, and watch that 11-minute run through. Anybody else out there who's a MJ fan, just watch it. It's my favorite Terry Cummings moment of all time.
Okay.
Shout out to Paul.
Yeah. There you go.
Sorry,
I feel like I remember that.
Did you get a headache from that?
Sorry, Carm. I got too much high school tape and bad Bears quarterback tape. To
11
watch
minutes.
Tonight.
It's
I
worth
will not be turning on MJ 89 over the Bucks.
Yeah, come on, you got to do it. It's
All right, Double X here says, "Don't pay Roquan." Thank you for spending one.
That's a rebuttal from the previous
just to
pay Roquan.
basically go against the other guy. That's fine.
I want a full report back on that
I
Bulls
got
Bucks.
you. I'm willing to watch it.
Steve O, does this team avoid being blown out by the Commanders? Giants feels like it could be a toss-up talent-wise, but in terms of functioning, we are brutal.
Look, they were in the game against the Packers, and they were not good.
Barely.
I don't think the
At
Commanders are
very
really that
end.
good, though.
And it's on the road. That's what concerns me. Like, I was worried about this game, and I knew I picked the Bears to win. And it happened exactly kind of how I thought it would play out, where we'd win, but wouldn't make me feel good based off of what I saw against Green Bay. Now we go on the road, and that makes it harder for a team that's really trying to find themselves on offense. So my worries won't dissipate going into New York, there's a chance I might not pick the Bears.
Yeesh. Yeah. I don't think they get blown out by the Commanders, though. That may look a lot like today's game, but
That's at home.
$5 from Dude Ski.
Dude Ski.
What's up, Dude Ski? This will be a huge meatball take. Forgive me, but do the Bears make a play for Lamar Jackson with all the cap space they have? All right.
I honestly think that all that. Go ahead.
Just real quick. If this continues, yes.
Thank you.
They got to go after some big name. Lamar Jackson's not leaving Baltimore.
Agreed.
They're going to figure that out. They're going to get him signed. They can franchise tag him. So specifically on Lamar Jackson, I don't think that's happening. But Jimmy Garoppolo come on down next year.
Let's not do that. But hey,
I'm not.
If things go sideways, creativity. Thy name is Ryan Poles. That's what we'll be hoping for.
Like, what do you think's going through Ryan Poles' head right now as he's driving back to his house?
Still evaluating.
You're high. He is. That is not what's going on through his head. He is thinking of every damn possibility.
If you think I'm worried right now,
yeah, trust me,
Ryan
that
Poles
dude is going to live in reality.
But that's what I just want to say quickly. I promise it'll be quickly. What I was getting to earlier is the layered conversation when it comes to Justin Fields. When you look at this league and the perception of quarterbacks, there are people that say, hey, you're not giving Justin Fields as much of a shot as you are Mitch Trubisky, who had 4 years. Jay Cutler, who had 3 contracts with the Bears and sucked for most of it. Daniel Jones is in his 5th year with the Giants. And I understand that conversation. And that's why I'm not going to come off of saying Justin Fields deserves more time to prove it going into his 3rd year. That's what I am saying. But what I am telling you is there is another segment of Bears fans that will tell you, hey, it is unfair if you do not give him that opportunity. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to turn this into a race thing. I'm just telling you that there are layers beyond whether he's good enough or if he's not good enough, that discussions are being had, and I want to acknowledge those conversations being on because I think they are fair conversations that are being had. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge his play on the field at the end of the day. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to make waves. I'm not trying to make clickbait. I'm just listening to the fans that I talk to every day on Twitter, every day in a tailgate lot or at a bar. These are the conversations I have. So, you can take what you want from my little rant earlier, but these are the conversations I had. I am rooting for Justin Fields. I am willing to give him another year to continue to prove it with weapons, but there are layers to this conversation, and it's only going to continue if he doesn't play better.
All right. Yes. Bottom line is just got to play better. That's it. All right. We got to go.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
To the old Jewish brethren out there, Happy New Year. Let's have a great Rosh Hashanah. I am way late for dinner. You're invited. We've got some matzah for you. We're crushing. Judy Katz is going big tonight, and I was supposed to be there at 5, so that's not going to happen.
Thank you for everyone who came out to the tailgate this morning. We will see you
hungry.
again at the next one. We will pass along all those details when they are available.
Tailgate was lit.
The tailgate was awesome.
Highlight of the day.
It was a huge turnout. A lot of work behind the scenes. Shout out to Jake Flanagan. Really everyone else behind the scenes. Greg Spano.
Rough start for me today. Brandon, great to meet you, brother. Really happy to be here. Hope to be here for a decade plus. Let's go.
All right.
Kevin was awesome today. You too, Kada. You stud you.
We're out of here.
And
Follow
you,
us on
Lawrence.
Twitter.
Oh, thanks.
And
Greg was like a huge help at the start. Like we weren't even there by the time Greg was
Greg
setting
was
everything
waking
up.
up at 3 a.m.
Mark was sleeping. He brought his dog at one point.
Oh my!
I mean, it's a cute dog.
I
but
live in the neighborhood.
Absolutely no help with the dog. The dog was cute though.
I saw at least one child there, too, which is cool with me.
Hey, I'll be the muscle.
Poppy
I'll
the-
be the muscle.
Poppy the
thank
puppy
you.
needs me to get home too.
We're out of
love
here.
you, Poppy.
Follow us on Twitter. Check out all our content, allchgo.com. We're back tomorrow, noon. Carm, me, Corey Wooten. We'll be breaking it all down after we rewatch the game, which we promise we'll do. And unfortunately, we'll see you tomorrow then.
2-1. Bear down, baby.
See you at noon, Bears.